done with that though. And the jump rope. Yeah. Whenever I skip rope, I can't use these wireless headphones. They fall right out of my ears. So of course, it would be helpful if I could get the rope itself not to fall out of my hands. Finish my protein shake, then we'll hit this. New name, who this? Yes, sir. For those of you who don't know me, my name is BullMuscle. For those of you who know me as Beer Battered Aggie, yes, I'm going through a rebrand. This seems like a pretty good time to talk about that, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm a diehard Aggie.
The eyes of Texas are upon you. That is the song they sing so well. Sounds like hell! So goodbye to Texas.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome on in. You will notice I am wearing a shirt right now. Promise that won't last. But it is cold in here, actually. It's just above freezing outside, so it's probably about 35 degrees Fahrenheit in here. So I have to warm up before I take it off. So welcome on in, everybody. We're going to have a great show for you today. It's going to be leg day. Move the microphone out, get a little bit better sound distribution. We got squats, particularly today. I'm going to try something new. What I've noticed for my squat, and I'll go ahead and I'll start I think I'll hit jump rope. I'm just going to kind of start warming up. What I've noticed on my squat in recent weeks is that I'm putting more emphasis on my glutes and even a little bit more on my lower back the way I'm coming up with the low bar squat. And that's terrific, but I don't think I'm hitting the quads for hypertrophy as much as I like. So today, to mix it up, we're going to do some pause squats. And we're also going to do I'm going to do a lot more front squats. So, normally I do 3 sets at a fairly light weight, like 185. Today it's probably going to be a few more sets at probably a heavier weight. That's going to be the hope. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, we got to start some rope. It's always a pain in the ass to do cold rope. I'm amazed y'all can't even see. I'm amazed my breath isn't showing. That'll work. Yeah, I think, Talio, yes. I guess you weren't here yesterday. Yeah, the mustache is gone. Johnny Jargon, welcome on in. Thanks for the first time chat. I recognize a couple of those emojis. Did you find me from the BitLife show? If you did, I'll give him a shout out because I see that. So yeah, the other thing about these squats, I'm going to try and do them beltless, which normally I recommend using a belt if you're going above body weight. But since these are pause squats, right, so what's the whole point of a pause squat? Well, the idea is that, right, when you're squatting, you're keeping your abs very tight, you're keeping your spine neutral, and you're creating a lot of internal pressure around the abdomen, around the spine to force the weight back up. With a pause squat, you're going to lose that. That's the whole idea. So there's no point to having a belt. I may try it just to see what it's like, but this is just what I found from researching it. Waking up, getting into work, half-assed lurking. I don't know who shouted you out, but I'm here. No, I was just saying, I just noticed one of the little emojis you put in your first-time chat. Either way, welcome. Thanks for the first-time chat. Welcome to the bullpen. It's always great to have new people in chat, new people to learn from, new people to talk to. It's terrific. Hey, all right. Oh, it's Swole Succubus. Good to see you again. Man, it is cold here this morning. Unseasonably so. This is more weather I would expect in January. But, anywho, let's go ahead and, because it is colder, I'm going to spend a little bit more time warming up. And I'm also going to take this off because if I'm doing pause squats, I need to kind of keep a good idea of how long I'm actually down for. So we'll do, the other thing with pause squats is that I'm going to do them high bar and not low bar. I'm also going to try and narrow my stance. Not a ton, you know, normally I'm out here, just maybe an inch or two on each side. So that's, the goal is going to be come down here and back up. And for this, I will be trying to go below parallel. Not full ass to grass because I don't think my knees and my musculature really support that, but it'll be low. Alright, we'll just do some regulars. Warm everything up. Stretch out. We'll do a couple low bars just for warming up. We're not going to do low bar today. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Oh. Definitely want to be warm before doing anything in this kind of temperature. Understanding one needed, I forgot to change the category. Thank you very much, understanding one. Totally forgot about that. Thank you. Yes, let me fix that. All right, it should be updated. Thank you very much, understanding one. I totally missed that. Yeah, happy Friday, y'all. It is Financial Fitness Friday, so we're gonna talk money. And I'm feeling pretty warm now underneath. So go ahead and take the shirt off. What I probably could do is close down the windows for the winter. But honestly, I'd rather it be colder in here. I feel like I'll lift better when it's cold. So I'm gonna probably keep them open. Besides, as we lift, we go along. Like it's, by the time 10 o'clock rolls around, it'll be well into the 40s. And by the time 11 o'clock rolls around, it'll be well into the 50s. So we'll be fine. I think the high today is supposed to be like 68, 69, so it's just, it happened to be cold this morning. Anyway, we're also gonna do front squats. So I think to start with front squats would be a good idea. Load weight. The question is, do you want to do a set of 175 to really hit it good first, warm up first? I think the answer is yes. I think that's probably smarter than diving straight to 225, because I haven't done 225 on fronts for a while. So we'll start with 175. Especially when it's colder out, you need to give your muscles a little bit more time to get warm, especially since I've taken my shirt off. And, well, naturally it will remain cold in here for a little while. All we need are some flurries and ATL will shut down. Oh yeah, I forgot you're over in Atlanta. I mean, I'm a couple hours away, but the nearest big city to me is Augusta. So I think you might be a degree or two colder than where we're at. I'm in South Carolina, so it's certainly not warm here, I'll put it that way. Do you play football with a pigskin or a round ball? Pigskin, sir. Not even a question in my mind. I am here. If you needed any hint as to what kind of nationality or what nation I belong to, yeah, that should make it extremely clear. God bless America, you will notice it is hung slightly higher than any of my other flags. That is done on purpose. That's the way you're supposed to do it. If you are an American citizen and you're proud of your state, as you should be, you should have pride in whatever state you come from as well. But you have to hang Old Glory higher than any other flag. Them's the rules, and yeah, you should follow them here. Low is 33, just sort of flurry weather. Yeah, it was about that much here too. Maybe a degree or two warmer at most. Because that falls, I think Atlanta's Atlanta's kind of in the Piedmont, the same way like Greenville, South Carolina, or Spartanburg is, where you're not at the Appalachians, but you're quite close. Whereas where I'm at is a bit more analogous to, well, obviously Augusta, but like Macon or Columbus. If you're from Georgia, you know where those cities are. If you're not from Georgia, you're probably like, the fuck he's saying. So anyway, we're getting distracted. And we have to go at least somewhat quicker for the first few so we can actually get warm and stay warm. So let's get started. What am I doing? Why wouldn't I use music? Don't be stupid. Let's get a little scorpions going. I'm feeling some scorpions this morning. Of course, my headphones are deciding, hey, what if we just did it? Lord. Come on. Really? Hey, Dios mio. Just work. Technical difficulties, folks. I'm just gonna do a couple more. Try and stay warm. Would you please work for me today, Bluetooth? I think that did it. There we go. Morning, Buzzin' Ranger. Let's do this. All right, it's 175, not that high. We're just doing one extra warm-up set. I think it's a wise thing to do at this point because it's a little cold in here. That's pretty easy. All right. Definitely starting to feel a bit warmer now. So we're gonna do high bar, pause squats next. Now, to start with these, you have a couple of variables you can play with. All right? What do I mean by that? Well, obviously, you can mess around with how much weight you're putting on. I'm going to try 250. From what I read, it said you're going to want to go between about 60 and 70% of your max. You play around with how many reps. But the third variable you can play with is you can play around with how much time you're spending in the pause position, the bottom. I'm going to try a 3-second pause. That's why I take my watch off. It's right there. I can look at it. We'll come back up. So we're going to try 250 pounds. We're going to try a 3-second pause. I'd like to see 8 reps, but given that I haven't done this before, if I only get 4, 5, 6, that's going to be all right. I hate front squat. I can't get the bar right. Too cold for Bluetooth. Yeah, maybe. So, for me with front squats, what I found is crossing, really just, you want to rest it on your shoulders and use your hands just sort of to guide it. Don't put a lot of pressure. Your hands should be gripping tight. Let me put it that way. That seems to help for me. So now the other thing with this pause squat, right? Why would you do these pause squats? Well, one of the ways you build hypertrophy is by time under tension. What's time under tension, right? It's a cumulative amount of time you're spending, with the bar either coming down in the eccentric phase at the full bottom or coming up in the concentric phase, right? So the idea here is that with a pause squat, you're spending extra time in the hole. What's the hole? The hole is, so when you're in the hole, you're at the bottom of your squat. The idea here between the time under tension and between the pause is that you're gonna build a lot more explosiveness coming out of the hole. You're gonna build a lot more hypertrophy for particularly your quadriceps. Is gonna force you to quad drive a little bit more. Should force my knees outside, or not outside, but my knees a little bit further forward than they otherwise would be. I'm gonna try and keep my back semi-neutral. We're gonna go from there. This view, I'm gonna give you all the first set in this angle. I will probably move y'all over to the side for the next angle, and then I'm gonna probably review that on my own time after the broadcast. Because I'm still very new to this, and I wanna see what my mechanics actually look like. It's kind of hard to see in real time. Front squat's a bitch, but it's worth doing. It's good for your quads. It can be a little tough on your knees, but once you kind of figure out what you're doing, it's not so bad. Other thing I'm probably gonna do is pair this with greater pulls, pullovers, and probably some calves. Now the trouble is, this is not a ton of weight to do at calves. I don't really feel like constantly swapping weight on and off. It's gonna take forever. So I may just wrap out a bunch here. We'll see. Or I may go slower. Could do that. Okay. Oh, nice. All right. All right, doesn't feel too bad. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's tough. All right, that's 6. That's not bad. think this is 20. We're gonna stick with 250 today. I feel like I could do more weight, but this is still very new to me, so I want to stick to that. Johnny Jordan, yeah, so that is below parallel. I normally don't go below parallel. The reason I'm doing it here is because I'm trying to pause in the hull and really work on my explosiveness coming out. So actually, if anything, I may go down weight to work on really getting up out of there. I feel like I'm getting out of there, but I'm doing it very grindy, very slow. Then again, that may be what I want to do. I'm still kind of learning it. We're going to hit a set of calves. But yeah, the depth is supposed to be very low here. Like, that's kind of the point. The idea is we're really training exploding out of that hole. This pause squats are supposedly very good for your Olympic lifts, hang cleans, snatches. Now, I don't do snatches because, well, full disclosure, I'm a bitch and I don't like them. But if you are, training those Olympic lifts, pause squats are supposedly pretty darn good. I'm gonna move the bench over here because I'm gonna put you guys over there for the next set. I'm gonna give you guys the side profile. I wanna see, I'm gonna go back and watch the film, so to speak, see what we're looking like. I think that was 12. I'm holding it. That's kind of a new wrinkle. I usually don't do calves like that. That's not bad. I'm going to stick to that. All right. Yeah, so again, I am not a believer in ass to grass squatting. Okay, so let's talk squat depth a bit. Officially, squat depth, I believe for any weightlifting or powerlifting competitions, squat depth, you have to get to parallel. What is parallel? For me, I define parallel as the crease of my hips at the tops of my kneecaps. So right about here, right? That's about parallel. So I'm getting down here. Now, I have to be careful not to round my back like this. The further deep you go, the more likely you're going to get butt wink or that you'll round your back. You have to keep the spine neutral. That takes a lot of focus, especially on a pause squat. That's why I'm doing this at lighter weight. If you're doing ass to grass or pause squats, you're not going to be able to do that much, as much on an ass to grass or a pause squat as you are on, a low bar, parallel, or even slightly above parallel squat. That's just not how body mechanics work. You're doing more work because you're going deeper. Now, again, the reason for this is explosiveness out of the hole. So there are reasons to go deeper than parallel, but you just have to remember that's not necessarily going to result in putting the highest weight on the bar. So, treat it as it's like, I'll put it to you this way. I think the best analog for these pause squats is time under tension bench press reps, right? So you're benching and you're going really slow, maybe 2, 3 count, coming down, and then you explode back up. I think that's the best analogy I can kind of give these pause squats. Anywho, we're gonna unplug the audio for just a second. It still should be passable quality. It's just gonna be slightly not great because of the, yeah, come on. You gotta get out of there. There we go. It's gonna be slightly not great because it's laptop quality instead of mic quality. But the whole point of this is, okay, make sure, okay, so yeah. The key here is, I gotta make sure my spine doesn't round. Oh. And I gotta make sure my depth is low enough. I do want to be below parallel here, but that's the whole point. It's exploding out of that hole. The other thing a lot of people who do ass to grass squats are at risk of is bouncing off their calves, right? Come all the way down, you can bounce off your calves a little bit. That's also not what you want to do. First off, that can be a risk to your knees. Second off, by bouncing off your calves, right, you're putting less strain, less stress on the muscles you're actually trying to build up. So you don't want to bounce off your calves. If there are any really experienced lifters out there who say you should, I'd love to hear the reason. I don't know one, but let's move y'all back just a touch for a little bit better. There we go. I kind of want to see. I want to see my ankles too, because it gives me a bit more of a holistic sense. Yeah, that's about right. Bring it down just a touch. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I know we're going slow right now. I'm trying to. This is also learning for me, so there's a reason. Okay. Let's get a little water. Here we go. Here we go. Shit. We're gonna do this. I think this is 7 or 8. That's not bad. How's the back? How's the depth? Hey, good to see you, Limitless. Hey, it's good to see you, Limitless. Okay, so what we're looking for there, looking for a neutral spine, looking for below parallel, looking for explosiveness out of the hole. Excuse me. Yep, the stash is gone. I shaved it. Had some big news. I explained that yesterday, but I can do so again if you would so like. Hope Burks is okay. Hit the turf pretty hard last night. Is that Traylon Burks, the former Arkansas receiver? Because he is a stud. I didn't realize he played for Tennessee. That's good. Johnny Jargon again. I swear I'm not following you. No, Limitless, it's good to see you. I know I've been gone for a while. I was out in Texas this last week. Ooh. Now, because I'm putting more emphasis on my quads for this and for front squats, which is what we'll do after this, there'll probably be four sets of pause squats. We'll do probably 4 sets of front squats. We'll probably pair it with Romanian deadlifts. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. Lurkins people. Well, he ain't lurking anymore, and that makes me happy. Always love it when a lurker finally says something. Yeah, so I was out in Texas all this week and ended up actually getting a job offer in a completely new location. Now, as it wasn't it wouldn't be quite competitive enough to move the needle and to get me to exit South Carolina, but I do have the ability to negotiate, and I plan to, so stand by, we'll see where it goes. All right, that was pretty good though. I felt pretty good about that pause squat. I'm gonna go back and watch the tape, so to speak. I may put y'all over there for one more set. I'd like more film to make sure I'm doing this right. And the idea here is a lot more about how deep we're going and how we're exploding out the hole, not so much how much weight we put on the bar. And it's 250, like it's not that heavy. Woo, balance, there we go. Do. All right. Oh, that's good. Yeah, we'll do 2 more sets of pause squats. I may try 275. I'm not quite sure yet. So, no need to pray. God does not control what HR does. Only HR controls that. Unfortunately, we do have free will as humans, and well, if they don't offer me something good, I ain't going. So, if you guys are curious as to where the job is, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, the job will be working for the Navy in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. This is why I wasn't actively looking for work, but I got pursued, and well, I mean, it would be irresponsible not to listen, right? It's fucking Hawaii. Come on, it's like paradise. But you know, with Hawaii comes eye-watering living costs, and well, moving out there, you know, the process of packing all my things, driving, shipping it across the country and then across the ocean, and then finding housing in Hawaii, that's not a cheap prospect, right? So as a result, I have to be a little bit more considerate as to what we're doing here. And if there's ever any Hawaiians that show up in here, I would love to know, is white people pronouncing it, you know, the actual way you're supposed to say it in Hawaiian, like it's supposed to be Hawaii, right? Is it cringe when white people do that, or is it respectful? Because I honestly don't know. Like, I feel like it's I don't know if that's it. I really want to ask a Hawaiian that. That's a question I should do, because I feel like it's cringe as hell to say that, even though it's technically correct. Like, I want to be respectful. If I go out there, like, I don't want to be one of these, right? I know I'm going to get called Haole a lot. Like, that's just how Hawaii operates. Like, due to, admittedly, some justifiable reasons, there is a little bit of an attitude towards tourists and non-natives. I get it. But, like, I'd rather not give them any ammo, is I guess what I'm saying. I'd like to, if I go out there, I'd rather be very respectful. You know, it's a unique culture, and it'd be cool to learn about. And the reason I feel this way is, so growing up as a kid in a military family, we lived on Okinawa, and no, Okinawa and Hawaii are not the same place, but they're both two island cultures that have been heavily influenced by external events. And so, being respectful of the local culture, I think it's the right thing to do. But at the same time, I don't want to come off as like super woke and cringe and shit. So I'm gonna have to ask a Hawaiian that. All right, let's go with Crazy World by the Scorpions. So now my lower, interesting, I'm feeling a little bit of pain in my lower back. I don't feel like my spine has been rounded. If it is, y'all please say something, because that's a safety precaution. But I definitely don't feel, yeah, like, I'm bending over. I'm gonna do some good mornings is what that means. I need to do some good mornings then. If I'm bending over to touch my toes, I definitely feel a little bit of a twinge in my spine. It's not bad enough to where I'm like, I need to stop, but it's definitely a bit of a warning sign. It's a yellow flag. It certainly means I'm not going to go any heavier than 250 today. Like, it's not my spine exactly, but it's the muscle right here, kind of at the small of my back. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but if I am, definitely please warn me so I don't get hurt, okay? Thank you. While we're here, shout out Limitless Fitness because she's awesome. Go give Limitless a follow, y'all, if you haven't. If you know my channel, in all likelihood, you've hung around long enough to know Limitless. So you're Limitless, you're probably not going to get any new followers from that, but it's the right thing to do. I'm big on doing the right thing, or at least I try to be. Okay, so let's tilt that up just a touch. Perfect, okay. And again, I wouldn't normally spend this much time on angle. This is my first time trying pause squats. I want to do this properly. So I'm going to try for a few more reps here. What I was reading is supposed to be, you're only supposed to go for 5, 6 reps tops, but I did 8 reps that last time. It felt pretty good. I'm definitely going really slow, but that's kind of the point today. This is learning. I'm not really sure. We'll find out. Here we go. come on. Seven. I feel like my back might be. That was a little sus. See. Oh. That felt pretty good. Definitely gonna watch the film on that. The 7th rep felt kind of sus. Uh-oh. Did my camera really freeze up? Uh-oh. Just audio? Hang on. Stand by, stand by. That was strange. I don't know why I did that. Can you see me now? Should be able to. Hopefully you can. We'll do a set of calves. Going home to my baby. It's been another hot day. Bust my balls for the tax man. So what else can I say? We spent our money on missiles for the Third World War. Now they're stacked in my backyard. We don't need them no more. God, that hits a little close to home. So it's Crazy World by the Scorpions. If you know where I live and what I do, there's a reason that hits hard. That was, I timed it. That was a 107-second set. So it was almost 2 minutes under the bar. What's weird is I'm not feeling this on my calves or my quads as much as I was expecting. Next Monday you get 2 teeth cut or pulled, I'm guessing. I don't know why you cut your teeth. That was pretty good though. I'm happy with how this is going so far. We're gonna do one more set of pause squat, I think. We're gonna move to front squats. It's definitely a different feeling doing this beltless. My abs are starting to get pretty tight. Which is interesting. I figured I'd be putting more stress on my abs, you know, sort of bracing them against the belt. I think this set, I'm gonna try it with a belt. I'm not gonna put it on very tight. I just wanna see how it feels. They say you're not supposed to do pause squats with a belt, but I just kinda, this is my own experimentation, my own curiosity. Cool. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, just bending over like that, I can feel a lot of tightness in my back. So that's an indicator that we need to be taking it a little bit easy. I'm surprised that my back is as tight up as it is. I feel like I'm not really putting my back into it as much as I would with, say, a low bar squat. I don't know. That's a bit of a question mark. I'm not quite sure why that is. So I have to keep working on this. So yeah, we'll do one more set. We'll try front squats. I'm gonna do front squats at 215, I think. We'll go from there. Yeah, we'll do front squats, good mornings. I think I'm gonna throw some Romanians on there to hit the calf or the hamstrings a little bit. My hamstrings don't, you know, going this deep on pause squats and front squats, that's gonna really hit should hit my quads a lot harder than my posterior chain. So I'm gonna want a type of leg exercise to hit those. Well, I can't do leg curls, I don't have a machine for that. I could do back squats, but if I'm already feeling a little bit of pain in the small of my back doing pause squats, probably not a best idea. And if I wanna, use up all my energy on front squats, probably not great. So, you want something that's targeting those muscles, but you can do at a slightly lighter weight because, right, my peak energy is gonna be drained by the time we get to that point. So I think Romanians hit that really well. I can work with Romanians. So we're gonna do one more set of pause squats on this. We're gonna do one more set of calves on this. Do one more set of pullovers. And then we'll switch to fronts, I think. I think that's gonna be the plan. In MCB news, RIP the general. I'm not sure what that means. College basketball? Oh, yeah, okay. So the belt's not on tight. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling some sort of tweak in my back. That's a bit of a worry. We'll do good mornings for sure. I'm thinking at least 3 sets of those. I need music for this though. This is gonna be the last set. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, Bobby, yeah, I heard about Bobby Knight. That is tragic. I know, obviously, as an Aggie, he was a Red Raider for a long time. Definitely, not my coach, but you gotta respect the greatness, no matter who they play for. So, mad respect. On that front. So, okay. I'm gonna actually psych myself up just a bit for this one. Okay, yeah. Feeling a little bit of lower back pain just kind of sitting here, and I'm wondering why that is. This isn't heavy weight. I'm not particularly straining my back when I'm lifting these. In fact, it feels like there's less strain on it than normal. Maybe I slept on it funny? I don't know why that could be, but it is a bit frustrating. Nobody called a checker cat loved in Indiana, but vilified everywhere else. Yeah, that sounds about right. No, the camera's about right. Lock in, focus. It's only 250. Should have no problem I want to try and hit a 2-minute set here. I want to try and I want to stay under the bar for 2 minutes. I'd like to get 9 reps. 10 would be amazing. I'd like to see if I get at least, if I don't hit more than 6, I'm going to be pissed off at myself. Let's do this. Number 2. One more. That's pretty good. That was tough. Now, strangely, my back doesn't feel any worse. I suppose that makes a little bit more sense. I'm having to use a little bit less muscle just with the belt a little bit. Maybe that's why my back's a little bit sore. I've gotten so used to the belt that maybe I've been using it to compensate, not train my lower back muscles as much. So we're definitely gonna hit good mornings today is what that means. But wow, now I can feel that one in my quads. Which is good, that's what we want. That was difficult. That was really hard. So I'm pleased that I was able to get that. I'm very happy with that. I went for 122 seconds. That was a 2-minute set, people. So why would I want to put in that much work over that much time, right? Even at the top, I'm just standing there. It is 250 pounds. It was more than my own body weight, substantially more. Weighing down, pushing down, sending signals to everywhere in my body, from my rib cage, to my thighs, to my calves. Yo, you got a fucking load on you now. You better grow and hit it, or you're gonna fucking die. That's the stimulus you're looking for. It's really good. So that's what we wanted. I want to check your shorts. I didn't crap myself. Trust me, I've gotten a lot closer to passing out than that. Smart ass. Now, we've been going really slow, obviously, on these reps because we're trying to learn, but now we can go a bit faster. Let's start with there we go. So we're gonna hit calves one more time. Oh, that felt good. All right, we don't need the belt for the next stuff. We're gonna hit front squats. I think I'm gonna set up for good mornings as well. That shouldn't be too tough. We'll do Raiders, we'll do good mornings. So here's how we're going to do the next few sets. We're going to do Raider pulls. So I'm going to do a set of front squats, a set of Raider pulls, and then a set of good mornings. I'm going to try for 4 sets of front squat. We've already done one. We did that earlier at 175. So we're going to hit, I'm going to try 215. I'd like to hit this for 8 reps. We'll see. If I only get 5 or 6, so be it. Darkness is filling my eyes. I'm not going to do pause here. This is just straight front squat. God, those are really slow reps. Yeah, congratulations to the Texas Rangers. They finally did it. They broke the curse of the team they stole. I think it's because the Nationals won a few years ago, probably, the curse. That allowed the curse to be lifted. But by 2019, the Rangers were knee-deep into a rebuild. Good for them, though. Good for them. I have a lot of friends who are Rangers fans. I know they're very happy. So it's good now that the Rangers have a World Series and they're in the same division as the Astros. I believe, especially after the conference or the American League series, I think that's now probably one of the best rivalries in baseball. Like, it's rapidly becoming an extremely good rivalry. Moving Houston to the AL West was one of the smartest ideas Major League Baseball ever had. I mean, it's just such an obvious fit. The second most obvious fit would be, if we're really lucky, this Vegas deal for the Athletics gets scuttled and they move to San Antonio. And we have a 3-way fight for Texas in the American League West. That would be amazing. But baseball won't do that because, I don't know. I don't know what it is about pro sports leagues and hating San Antonio. Maybe the Spurs are just able to blackmail everyone else. I don't know, but like, it kind of sucks. I don't think people understand just how massive San Antonio is. Like, there's a reason the Spurs are routinely and consistently one of the most sold out teams for basketball. Even if they're not good, the Spurs fans show up. You know what else I like about the Spurs? First off, San Antonio is probably my favorite big city in Texas, so I always got a soft spot for San Antonio there. What else I like about the Spurs? The black and white uniforms look sick. And they've always been about playing team basketball more than other franchises. Yeah, sure, they've had their stars of the year. Everybody remembers, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan. But, even then, it was very much a team. You were seeing the ball get passed around a lot. It was never about one individual star, carrying the team. The same way Kawhi carried the Raptors, even a double pair like you had Kobe and Shaq, or the big three in Miami with LeBron when he was with the Heat. You get the idea, right? It was never about one superstar with San Antonio. It was always the really balanced team. And basketball was led more by superstars than any other league because you've only got 5 players on the court at one time. But I love team-based approaches. It's a humbler way to play the game. I just like it. So I've always kind of had I don't give a shit about the NBA, but if I did, I might be a Spurs fan. At least I would be until Washington gets their heads out of their asses, renames the team the Bullets, as they should. Leave it to the city of DC to choose the incorrect team to rename 25 years too soon. Okay, enough fucking around. Let's hit front squats here. The cancer known as James Harden. I don't think James Harden's I think people like to crap on James Harden. He doesn't play defense. That's true. I don't think he's an absolute cancer. I don't know, maybe he is. I don't pay enough attention to say. All right, let's get some Alice in Chains on. Here we go. Also, the city of Seattle deserves a basketball team, and their support of the Kraken proves that they did. Oh, come on. Come on. All right, now we do good mornings. A friend of mine was asking me for fitness advice. In real life, Fred, I got to meet up with a Texas sub, telling him, yo, I'm also live on Twitch if you want to come hang out. So we got, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 10, 13, 14, okay. So we're halfway through, but this will go a little bit faster now. His head coach cost him the game. That's a pity. Levis is pretty good. By the way, Big Red, I'm convinced of what A&M needs to do now. I think we're going to go 7-5 this year, and Jimbo's going to get shit canned. And I know who I want to replace him with. And I know we have the money to do it. I want to see a guy who can motivate the shit out of his players, a guy who understands the lore, understands the traditions, and understands what A&M is about because he was there. It's got to be fighting Texas Aggie class of '99 Dan Campbell. Tell me Dan Campbell wouldn't make an amazing coach at A&M. Like, tell me that doesn't fit. I'm gonna do a set of calves too. Do one more set of calves, I think. Let's go for a little more basic though. So only 4 sets of calves, probably not enough. Probably want at least a little bit more than that. All right. Seven. 8. 9. 10. 13. 14. 15. That's not bad. How do you see that little fire Jimbo for Harbaugh? Just despite that. Dude, I would love Harbaugh as my head coach. Are you kidding me? 100% would be very happy with that. I think most Michigan fans understand how good they've got it. I can lay a lot of barbs Michigan's way. I'll be honest, I don't see the same kind of knee-jerk stupidity from Michigan that I do from Ohio State on this regard. And I like the Buckeyes fan base in general, but like, the people calling for Ryan Day's head are idiots, okay? I'll put it to you that way. You're gonna sit here and tell me that, you know, being a one-loss team and coming up short in the game isn't good enough, you know, for only 2 years? Like, that's such a knee-jerk thing to do. Now, if that happens 4 or 5 years in a row, yeah, maybe you gotta take a look at replacing him, but 2 years, way too early. Way too early. I personally think Ohio State fans need to chill the fuck out with Ryan Day. I think Ryan Day's a damn good coach. But I don't see that. I don't see Michigan fans doing that with Harbaugh. Maybe it's because they've won the game the last 2 years. But even when they hadn't, I still don't think they were calling for Harbaugh's head. In general, Michigan fans have been really patient with Harbaugh, and it's paid off. They haven't won a natty, but they've made the playoffs. They've won the Big Ten. You know, I really do actually think Harbaugh's an excellent head coach. We'll see what comes of this cheating scandal. Obviously, you know, that could tarnish his legacy quite a bit. But right now, I'm going to stick to innocent before proving guilty. And that's a personal bias. I like Harbaugh. Just a lot. I like his intensity. He's a dork. He's a massive dork. But you know what? Why is that a bad thing? You want a guy like... Harbaugh has almost like that sort of Michael Scott level, I'm going to fucking do this at 100%, Leroy Jenkins kind of attitude. I love that. Like, again, I'm willing to reevaluate as more facts come out with this whole sign stealing scandal, but innocent until proven guilty with Harbaugh. I think he's earned that. Questioning Big Blue Nation saying fire Stoops, that's unbelievably dumb. Why? Like, the fact that y'all went, what, 8-4 last year, and A lot of people said, oh, that was kind of like a disappointing season, a regression for Kentucky. Proves just how far Stoops has taken the program. Kentucky, let's be real, okay? Let's take a look at the teams Kentucky is playing. Let's take a look at the fan bases, the resources they're up against. Big Blue Nation does not have the resources to compete with, or the in-state talent to compete with, Tennessee, LSU, either Texas team, now Oklahoma too, obviously Alabama, and Georgia, right? And don't forget Florida as well. That is a lot of resources in, frankly, one of the poorer states in the union. I think Kentucky has a better parallel to look at with Missouri and South Carolina. I think in terms of overall program size, program competitiveness, and resources, it's a lot more likely, I would use those as your comparables. If you want Kentucky to play at an Alabama level, Kentucky needs to upgrade all their shit in a big way, and I don't think Kentucky has the resources to do that. So I think the people who are calling for, the people who want to blame Stoops for that, like, just look at the average talent composite. No, talent doesn't mean everything. A&M's the poster child for talent not meaning shit. But you can't sit here and tell me that that doesn't make a difference between the Wildcats and Georgia, right? I think Kentucky's doing great. I think these are y'all's good days. Like, I'm not saying know your place. I'm not saying get complacent. But, like, at the same time, there is nothing wrong with a 9-win season, okay? Remember that. I know because A&M's had shockingly few of them for how much talent we've got. People don't realize, A&M, we have the 4th highest talent composite in the country. We have a higher talent composite than Michigan does. The only teams ahead of us right now are Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State. Seriously, I think the top 6 is, in this order, Georgia, Alabama, and they're like right neck and neck. Ohio State, A&M, Michigan, and I want to say Clemson. And Clemson's having a down year, that's true. But, like, one of those teams is very much not like the others, and it's A&M. So my point here is that given the resources Stoops has to work with, I think he's doing an excellent job. I think people who are calling for his head are insane. Who are you going to replace him with? Where do you upgrade? I agree, Big Red. No. Kentucky fans they're losing their touch with reality if you think you're going to fire Stoops and find an upgrade. And I mean no disrespect by that. It's not to say Kentucky isn't a desirable program to coach at, but, right, Kentucky is already a native talent-sparse state. Kentucky high school football just isn't quite on the level of Florida or Texas or even Ohio, right? Just in terms of raw talent level in state. Then you gotta remember, right? Like, take Ohio. Ohio doesn't have to share with anybody. Pretty much all the talent in the Buckeye State is gonna go to Columbus, right? And they can basically use the MAC schools as their feeders, right? So you've got, just in that state alone, you've got Ohio U, you've got Miami, you've got Akron, you've got Toledo. I guess you've got Cincinnati as a semi-powerhouse, but Cincinnati's still mostly a team composed of 3 stars and 4 stars, right? Kentucky, unlike that, you have a very serious competitor in Louisville. Louisville saps a lot of the in-state talent from an already sparse talent pool. So Kentucky has to pull from a lot of different areas. Like, for instance, right, your running back who's been a stud this year, you pulled him off of Vanderbilt. You didn't recruit him. You were able to flip him, but you didn't recruit him. I don't know who is able to pull in more talent to Big Blue Nation than Stoops. Who provides that pitch? Who is able to up the talent level in Lexington more than Stoops? And I can't think of a name that can. You can criticize a lot of things Stoops has done, sure. But I don't think you can criticize how in tune Stoops is with Kentucky football. The man's been at it for a decade. He's, I think, now the winningest coach in Kentucky history by a landslide. And if it weren't for Nick Saban, I think that means he's the longest tenured coach in the SEC. So, I guess if I am a Kentucky fan, I'm sitting here saying, Yeah, could we in theory do better with someone else? Sure, but I think you would be sacrificing a much lower floor for a slightly higher ceiling. Let's go for another set here. I'm talking a lot, but who cares? Getting cold. I need to speed it up is what that means. All right. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Come on! All right, that's not bad. I just said good mornings. Now, if only Coach Cal had the same fire that Stoops has. It's wild to me how much Kentucky basketball is falling off. That's, you know, so, now Kentucky basketball is a very different thing, right? Kentucky basketball, you guys are a UNC or Kansas level or Duke level blue blood. You have no business being as bad as you are right now. It's very unusual for a blue blood to fall off quite like that. So that's one where I'd have a lot more willingness to justify taking an extreme measure. Because Calipari's got the same kind of legacy that Stoops has. Question is, who are you going to replace him with? Fire X is always so easy to say. When people don't have one or two good candidates they'd like as a replacement, and they gotta be realistic candidates, it's bullshit. Lost my grip. Come on, 2 more. Dude, these good mornings are hard. Oh. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10, 11, 14, 15. Whew. All right. Let's see, 4, 6, 8, 9, 13, 15, 17, 20. Okay. So we're rolling. We're going to do one more set of all this. We're going to hit some Romanians and then some thrusters. Steve, he has a lifer contract? Really? So y'all are just paying him indefinitely? Oh, you have to buy him out. Well, I mean, yeah, that's how it goes. Dude, I would 100, but as far as A&M's concerned, I think it's unrealistic to expect Harbaugh to come to Aggieland, but God, that would be amazing. I don't know how I've had Michigan fans to be really angry about that. I would have to imagine. And Harbaugh's the best coach on the field they've had since Bo. The less said about Bo's off the field stuff, the better. I'm not going there. It's funny enough, actually, long time ago, A&M came this close in the 80s to stealing Bo. Poaching Bo, if you want to go that way. I really wish, I don't know, a lot of people like to say, oh, the Jimbo Fisher hire was a bad one. No, I wouldn't say that. The Jimbo Fisher extension was a bad one. I think very easy to be, hindsight's 20/20, but Kevin Sumlin left the cupboard bare. He was not a good head coach. Even Sumlin's success is very much overshadowed by the fact that he had his best years in 2012 and 2013. Those were years he was working with Mike Sherman's players, and Kevin Sumlin he actually could recruit fairly well, but he could not manage the talent he recruited. The most damning case of this is 2015. Sumlin has both Kyler Murray, Kyle Allen on the roster and loses both of them in the span of 2 weeks. That's inexcusably bad talent management. I don't know how you even do that. And what's even more shocking is that in the summer of 2015, before the season began, a young native of Houston by the name of Jalen Hurts, who had been a lifelong Aggie, wanted to become an A&M quarterback. Kevin Sumlin turned him down. I don't know how you can be that grossly incompetent, but people love to shit on Jimbo, and there's a lot to complain about Jimbo with. But That's a huge difference right there. Kevin Sumlin ran his good quarterbacks out due to incompetence. Jimbo Fisher has lost a lot of good quarterbacking due to injury. Now, how much of that is Jimbo's fault because he has terrible offensive lines? Now we're talking. His only good O-line at Aggieland has been the 2020 year. And a lot of people say, oh, 2020 doesn't count as a COVID year, as an asterisk. Fuck off. No, it counted. It was real. If you don't like it, that's your problem. The games were played. The records are shown. But 2021, 2022, and especially this year, the offensive line has regressed massively, and that's because Jimbo Fisher chose to hire Steve Adazio as his offensive line coach. Why Jimbo Fisher did this is a mystery to everyone. I don't know why the press doesn't ask him, why on earth did you hire this clown? It's very, very obvious that Adazio doesn't know what he's doing and doesn't know how to adapt the talent he has to the scheme he wants to run. It doesn't work. The offensive line is single-handedly what has cost his team 2 football games. The Tennessee game and the Alabama game would have been A&M victories if the offensive line wasn't completely putrid. Hell, we'd probably still have an intact Connor Wegman if it wasn't for how bad the offensive line was. The only reason Wegman went down is because the offensive line couldn't block against the mediocre Auburn defense. Auburn's defense has gotten better, but at the time it wasn't anything special. We'll say, credit where it's due. I don't really care for Hugh Freeze, but it seems to me like he's got Auburn on the right track. I think Auburn fans need to be patient, and that's not in the Auburn DNA because your in-state competition is literally Alabama. But if you're Auburn, I think Peyton Thorne has gotten better as the year has gone on. He was absolute garbage against A&M, for instance. He was atrocious. But I think you got to give him time, right? These are not Freeze's players. These are Brian Harson's players for the most part. It's gonna take Hugh Freeze a few years. Auburn fans need to resist the urge to fire him in year 1 or year 2, no matter how bad it gets. If you're gonna go on a gamble with a big name like Hugh Freeze, you've got to give him time. And maybe again, this is my inner Aggie speaking out because A&M obviously. I think A&M, we're a bit too patient. I think we've given Jimbo a little too much slack. I think because our expectations are so low compared to any other team with the amount of resources and talent A&M has, first off, if you're a coach, like if you're a head coach, A&M is your dream job. There is no other combination where you get this many resources and this low expectations. Nowhere. Nowhere. Because if you get these same sort of resources at Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, God only knows over in Austin. I mean, Texas is a fucking pressure cooker. Credit where it's due to Sark, he's weathered the pressure cooker that is Texas football pretty well. A&M isn't like that. We let you cook. We've let Jimbo overcook at this point. I mean, 6 years and we're 5-3? 6 years, and at this point, I would say it's, in all likelihood, we will finish 7-5 this year. I don't see us beating Ole Miss because their strength, defensive line, is our weakness, offensive line. And we're playing LSU in the swamp at night at the end of the year after we beat them and embarrassed them last year. LSU is going to come out for revenge. We will not win that game. So I think we can beat Mississippi State. They look beatable. And Abilene Christian's a cupcake. No offense to ACU, but like, come on. So that's 7-5. In what world, with this much talent and this much invested into the program, is 7-5 acceptable? And I'm not saying we should be even competing with a natty. But yeah, I think 9 wins is a very reasonable expectation to have for this much talent on the roster. I think 9 wins, maybe an outside shot at a New Year's Six Bowl. And if not a New Year's Six Bowl, a really, really high-quality bowl. We should not be 7-5. With this much talent and this much experience, these are all Jimbo Fisher's guys. These are Jimbo Fisher's coaches. This is all Jimbo Fisher's team. And if 7-5 is the best we can do, he needs to go. I don't care what the excuses are. This is a team, even with Connor Wegman out. Yeah, no, Max Johnson is a step down for Connor Wegman, but Max Johnson's not a bad quarterback. Max Johnson's a good, if not great one. Zero excuse. Zero excuse for being even 8-4 is a disappointing year. And again, there's no way we win out. We are not beating both Ole Miss and LSU. We will be lucky to be 8-4 this year. That is just nowhere near good enough. It's that simple. Adazio? Yes, I know, Adazio. The guy who fucked up in Rutgers. Yes, that's the offensive line coach. Yeah, think about what a cast of ne'er-do-wells and assholes and rejects has been assembled. You've got DJ Durkin as the defensive coordinator. You've got Bobby Petrino as the offensive coordinator. You've got Steve Adazio as the offensive line coach, and Jimbo Fisher as the head coach. That is a lot of assholes on one team. Look, and if they win, that's one thing. But like, bothers me as an Aggie deep down to be mediocre. Like if we were winning and we're like, yeah, they're assholes, but at least they're good at their jobs, that'd be one thing. They're assholes. They bring up shit tons of negative press for A&M, and they're not even good. Like, why? What's the point? Like, if we're gonna be a 7 to 8 win team year after year after year, I would at least like to be one that doesn't make headlines for all the wrong reasons. I think that's a very reasonable request. If we're gonna be mediocre, if we're gonna be mid, let's at least be mid quietly. Because right now we're being mid extremely loud. All right. We got one more set of fronts. And I'm going slow, but who gives a shit? Really today, I should mention, I've got another roommate coming in. It's gonna be a household of 3 for a while. But we're gonna hit it. Hang on. So we're gonna hit fronts. We're gonna finish up our workout. We'll do financial fitness and all that. And then I've got a ton of chores to do today. I've got a lot of cleaning up to get the house ready for the new roommate. But yeah, no, Steve Adazio is our offensive line coach. And then you wonder why A&M's offensive line has the talent of a top 10 team and the performance of, a Mountain West school. It's ridiculous. It's a gap scheme. I don't know why we're making it that complicated. The raw talent should be enough to where if you just keep it simple enough, the O-line's gonna fucking feast. These are strong dudes. I mean, these are 4- and 5-star recruits that are playing like 2 stars. Literally last year, we had the talent level of Georgia and the on-field success of Vanderbilt. That is unacceptable. This year, we're gonna have the talent level of Georgia, the on-field success of maybe Texas Tech? I don't know. I don't know what team is characteristically 7 and 5 all the time, but not Northwestern. Northwestern's average is 7 and 5, but they do this. I don't know, fucking Purdue? I don't know what team is like perpetually 7 and 5. You tell me. All right, let's go. Black Sabbath. Actually, I'm gonna face this way. I haven't done it this way. We go this way. Change the view. No, I need to keep an eye on the clock. Three, 4, 6, 10. All right. There we go. Perfect. Right? Now, it's very easy to say, regarding the coordinators, is the last thing I say. Very easy to say, oh, well, Jimbo's not the problem, Adazio's the problem. Who made that hiring decision? And then after last year's debacle, who defended it? Jimbo clearly thinks Steve Adazio is somehow the best offensive line coach his unlimited resources can buy. I don't know how someone with sound mind can believe that. Adazio was objectively abysmal at his last few jobs. Even more so than Petrino, and I'm no Petrino fan. But you didn't at least justify Petrino. Frankly, I think Petrino is a fraud because literally a sack of potatoes could have made Lamar Jackson, could have been good with Lamar Jackson in the fucking American Athletic Conference. It's such an obvious disparity in talent, you know? Need to fix my pelvic tilt. Help me. Welcome. Thanks for the first time chat. Welcome to Bullpen. What do you mean by pelvic tilt? Like, can you elaborate a little bit more? Let me make sure I understand what you're talking about. Pelvic tilt, lifting. Like, is it tilted forward? Is it tilted backwards? I'm not entirely sure what you're what you're trying to do there. Okay, so I need to update this. Here you go, we did 6, 15, 20, okay, and 10. We can still say we're at 4, 8, 11, 18, 24. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 sets of Romanians, and we're gonna do probably 3 sets of thrusters. I'm thinking the Romanians, I don't want to go crazy on this. I think I'm gonna go 265. Seems about right. And then thrusters will do. I might try one. Maybe try like 110 this time. The squat thrust, I usually don't like to go too crazy. It's kind of backward. So, is this pelvic tilt when you're deadlifting? Is this pelvic tilt when you're squatting? Like, a little bit more information would be useful. But I do appreciate it. Thanks for the first time chat. Thanks for stopping in. I'll try and help as much as I can. I'm trying to get the information correct before advising you in any one way or the other. Let's see here. Let's go sound guard and rusty cage. No, I don't want Billy strings. No, I don't want Billy strings. Stop. No, come on. Sound guard. Thank you. So this is 265. Do I want the belt for this? Yeah. The amount of stuff we've already done. The belt for this. That's too high. Should lower this. Oh well, next set. Doing it for almost 10 years. I'm guessing it's from sitting in the same spot. Oh yeah, thank you, Chris Cornell. Hell yeah. One of the greatest voices in rock and roll. Good to see you, Phil. Ulharia, thank you very much for the follow. I've been gaming for almost 10 years, and I'm guessing it's from sitting in the same spot. So yes, I would say if it's because you're brand new to the gym, I would say look up squat depth videos. I have them on my Discord if you really want. I've got loads and loads of good information if you're a rookie to the gym. That'll help you out a lot. If you're looking for Squat depth in general, what you're going to shoot for. Let's get the belt off to show you. Is you want slightly wider than shoulder width stance, slightly canted ankles, so this shouldn't be pointing straight forward. Should be a little bit out. How far out is kind of personal preference. You can either go high bar or low bar. Really depends on what you're looking to do and how tall you are. You're going to want to here, for demonstration's sake. You got high bar, it's going to be like this, it's going to be up top. You got low bar, it's going to be, there we go. So slightly canted, slightly wider than shoulder width. Come down, right? You see how my back's straight? It's not rounded like this. It's not like concave. Oh, lost my balance. It's always hard to do that. Right, you come down, you want crease of the hips at the top of the kneecap, so about this deep. And you want to come up using your butt, your hamstrings, and your quads. The whole idea is to hit your legs. I would say, so I think pelvic tilt usually means you're walking around your normal postures like this, or like this. In general, finding your natural squat motion and doing lots of squats should, I think, help. It may not fix it, but it should help. That'd be my best advice. I'm gonna break my rusty cage and run. There we go. I have to plug my mic back in, no wonder. Hopefully that helps. Thanks, man, appreciate it. Yeah, stick around, man. Check out the Discord too if you're looking for good advice. I've got a lot more on there. Excuse me for 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Couldn't hold it any longer, had to pee. Try to wait usually till the end of the workout to do that, but did not have power to do that this time. Okay, so let's go for Electric Eye by Judas Priest. So we're gonna hit this for a second set. We go for 12. So what am I doing here? Since you're new to the gym, this is probably a little useful information. What I'm doing here is called the Romanian deadlift or the stiff-legged deadlift. The idea is to really hit your posterior chains. It's going to be your lower back, your glutes, and your hamstrings, all right? So how are you doing that with a stiff-legged deadlift? You're going to see it from the front view, so I'm going to show you from the side view. The idea is that with a conventional deadlift, right, it's the concentric motion. You pull up and you use your hip thrust to get it out, to lock out at the hips. The Romanian deadlift, you're really focusing on the eccentric part of the motion. In other words, coming down. The idea here is that you keep your scapula, you keep your shoulder blades kind of pinched together. You really want to keep it tight, keep your abs tight. Oh, excuse me. Oh, God. Just barfed a little bit. Get back down. So keep your abs tight, and you're really focusing on the eccentric. So the idea here is that you're barely bending your knees. That's why it's called a stiff-legged deadlift. You're just barely bending your knees. You're really focusing on lowering it like this. The idea here is that by doing this, you're really stretching out your hamstrings in particular, and then when you push it back up, or when you're pulling it back up, you're going to activate your glutes, you're going to activate your hamstrings, you're going to activate your lower back, and come right up. So that's the basic idea. I know I'm sounding less than 100% coherent. To be fair, I'm in the final few sets of my workout. I need to hit another. Let's do this. I think I'm going to do this one with a belt. I'll do the next one beltless. See what the temperature is. 54 degrees. Yeah, it's warmed up in here quite a bit. All right. It's the same thing, right? It's all about the eccentric motion here, right? I'm not doing this for max weight. I'm doing this for sets of 12. I'm doing this for really getting that pull on the hamstrings. Keep the country clean. Electric spot. Rocket, good to see you. That booty's there. I appreciate that. I guess if you really wanted, I could flip around and show you on the back view. I haven't done that yet. It might be worth doing. Give you all a good idea of what it looks like from both sides. I guess I figure, right, if you're doing this at a gym, you're probably gonna have a mirror, so it makes more sense to show you how I'm doing it. I don't know. That's up to you, chat. If you want to see me do it reverse view, just let me know. Okay. So you got 4 more sets left. We're going so slow today, but that was inevitable. With the pause squats, it's just going to be like that. We're going to do 1 more set of Romanians. We're going to D-rack. We're going to hit squat thrusts. Good to see you, Rocket. Let's go a little earlier British heavy metal, Led Zeppelin, one of the original unholy trio, and the Pope, of course, is Uriah Heep. In the same way that the Cajun Holy Trinity is onion, celery, and pepper, and the Pope is garlic, the British heavy metal unholy trio is Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, and Led Zeppelin, and the Pope's Uriah Heep. Everybody forgets about your ID, but goddamn, they were good. Go listen to Demons and Wizards and tell me they weren't every bit as good as Zeppelin, Sabbath, or Purple in their heyday. All right. I think this one, I'm gonna go double overhand grip and no belt. Really take it slow. I probably won't get 12 reps here, but it'll be worth it. It's important to use the belt for your heavy shit, but not to get dependent on it for everything. It's the last heavy set of the day. Squat thrusters are great for full body and cardio, but they're not, if I'm doing them at 110 pounds, it's not that much. You know, I'm gonna leave you. Hands getting a little greasy. Okay. Fuck. I'm on! Damn! The grip strength is failing. Fuck. Yeah, I got 3 more sets left. I'm dying here. Ugh. What am I gonna do after this play? All right. So, what's a squat thrust? It's simple. You do a squat, you thrust the weight into a push press. I don't know if this is actually, I've heard it's also called a thruster, but then I've also heard hip thrusters, so I don't know which it is. I don't really care. Not really the points. There we go. Cool. All right. The idea here is really simple. Squat the weight, thrust the weight. This there. So we can scoop this up. So we've got enough space to actually do the exercise. I will de-rack the bar in a minute. Two of those lid opening things for pickle jars seems silly, but it might work. Phil MC, Uriah Heep, Demons and Wizards. Any Uriah Heep album's pretty good from the early 70s. Dude, it's okay. I know a very large chunk of my audience, especially you lurkers, are out there because that's how you feel. It's understandable. Keep it to a dull roar. This is an 18+ channel, so you should be able to talk a little bit about that. But if it goes too far, I'll let you know. You're fine. Yeah, so like straps for grip strength, a lot of guys use those. I don't, because the whole point of a double overhand grip to me is to help train your grip strength. I want to get a stronger grip. Built like a fucking truck, I wish. Right now I'm not. So I'm at the end of my cut cycle more or less. I weighed in this morning at 206.8, 16-ish% body fat. I feel like is a little high because I have to flex, but I can see my abs when I do. So that tells me I'm pretty close. I would guess more like 15, but whatever. My goal is I'd love to stay this level of cut, and then I'd like to put 20 pounds more muscle on. I'd like to be a shredded and like leaned up 225. I'm not there yet, so that'll probably take me, if I really dedicate and I stay natty, probably be another 3 to 4 years to get there. But that's the fun part. I can totally do that. I'm 28, so yeah, put me there at 31, 32. That's very doable. But you know, I've been lifting for long enough to where the gains get really hard. It takes a long time to get a lot fewer gains. Anyway, it's time for me to hit these thrusters. All right, so I'm gonna grab these, ready for a set of 10, and if I'm gonna do that properly, I need to move you guys back a touch. Let's see, be right here. Probably don't need to see me that far down. Probably need to see me slightly further up than that. Hopefully that works. Not getting gross. I just like the shoe shorts body combo. It works. I appreciate that. I know a lot of my audience was a bit shocked and dismayed that the mustache is gone. That's that happened just a week or two ago. I'll talk more about that. Public workspace. No, I'm giving a voicemail. I'm lifting. I got more important shit to do. Sorry. All right, here we go. There we go. Come on. I got Led Zeppelin rolling now. Yes, sir. One of the greatest albums released in 1969. But now, I've got to go on the way. Da, 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 da. That's when it's calling me. That's when it's calling me back. Oh. All right, we have 2 more sets, and then we are done. Let's do little King Crimson, 21st Century Schizoid Man. That's a good song. I like to hear about it without the stash, and I'll have a good stash for sure. No, yeah, so large cam girl streams may be similar in that sense, but you gotta remember, there's a double standard. Large cam girls, the large audience cam girls I should say, usually they're not large girls themselves. They get a different set of rules to play on by Twitch because they bring in the money. It's a business, I understand. But that's why, you know, if things get too far, I try to say, yo, chat, tone it down. You never know when some douchebag is going to come along and try to report you for doing nothing wrong. I've had that happen, so I'm kind of scarred from that. That's always really annoying when people do that. Like, really? Why? If you don't like my content, just go watch any of the other thousands of streamers currently live. I've never understood that bit. All right. So we got ourselves 2 more sets. This is tough. This has been a hard workout. I don't feel my calves as much as I thought I would. I have to play around with things a bit more. I'll figure it out. I hit my head. That didn't feel good. Come on. Ah! Blood rack, barbed wire, politician's funeral pyre, innocence raped with napalm fire, 21st century schizoid man. One more set, y'all, and then we'll sit back and talk a little bit. There is more to this channel than just lifting. I promise. I know we've gone really slow today. we'll have financial fitness and we'll talk. Now, this has been a 2.5-hour workout. Mine usually don't go this slow. That's what happens when I'm doing pause sets though. It makes sense to be slow. I'm gonna write down my calories for protein. This person's calling me a second time. All right, fine. Hello? It's an automated, why am I getting spammed by this? Ah! Cool, okay. I got so there's a boil water advisory this morning. I completely forgot about that and filled up my water anyway, but it wasn't supposed to go into effect until 9 a.m., so we're good. I filled up all my water before 9 a.m. All right, where were we? Oh yeah, one more set here. Let's check the garage temp one more time. I love this thing. 56 degrees, yeah, it's slowly getting warmer in here. I'm not shivering anymore. But honestly, the fact that I'm doing it in the cold, probably burning more calories, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you probably saw my stash if you've been watching this show. You know, if you were watching my show a week ago, you saw it. So, you know, it's only recently gone. So all we got here, all we got left, one set, one more. We'll sit back, we'll chat. There we go. Whew. Yeah, I got so much shit to do today. It's not even funny. Once this stream's over, I'm gonna be fucking busy. I'll put it to you that way. This has been fun though. This has been a good stream. Oh my gosh. All right. Do this properly. There we go. We got one more set, baby. Fucking go strong, strong like bull. Strong like bull. We ain't fucking finished. We ain't fucking finished. Come on, 4. Ah! Yeah, baby! And we're done. Let's go. Oh, where is he? Yes, I'm afraid that's right. Many, many tacos. Stash is indeed gone. It was time. Okay. All right. So let's cool down for just a bit. That was tough. Yeah, stash had to go. It was about time to get rid of it. Let's talk about the diet, where I'm at. I'm at 206.8 this morning, so I'd like to lose a little bit more, but not that much. I want to stay around 205. So that means I'm going to be probably maintaining very slight cut, something around 2,700 calories a day. It's going to be my target from now until November 11th. And November 11th, I go to Puerto Rico, and I'm going to be on vacation that week. When I get back, that is when the bulk begins. I'm going to start hitting some heavier weights. The pause squats, I really like that. I could probably stand to do the same thing at heavier weight. I felt like I'm going to go back and look at the clips. I'm going to go back and look at the tail of the tape. It felt like my form was good. It felt like I was exploding out of the hole. Maybe not as intensely or as hard as I'd have liked to, but because I was hitting so many more reps, it's to be expected. Otherwise, it was pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna a little bit of water here. Okay. So I've already had a protein. Like everything, that is something I write into my notebook. 380 calories, 64 grams protein, 7 grams of fat, 17 grams of carbs. I track my macros old-fashioned way using a pencil and paper. I've really started getting into journaling. I feel like it helps me, so that's why I do it. Vacation in Puerto Rico, yeah, it's gonna be pretty baller. The reason I'm choosing that is because my mom is having a pretty big birthday, and my younger brother and I wanted to treat her to a really nice birthday. So I'm just stretching out now. We're cooling down. Pulling out the hamstrings. Switch. One. It's definitely been helpful for me. I recommend pencil and paper. The other thing it does is it breaks your brain from, sort of the screen hypnosis that we all sort of get into nowadays here in the 21st century. So that's a good thing. Taking care of your family is a good thing. Well, so she's got one of the big birthdays coming up. It ends in a round number. I'm not saying what it is. As a result, she lives up in Washington State. And Washington State gets very dreary, very rainy, kind of depressing this time of year. So we said, let's treat her to something special. And we thought, where's something sunny, fun, that none of us have ever experienced before. And we came up with Puerto Rico. It's either that or the US Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico was a little bit more affordable, so that's the main reason. Okay, so what do we do now? Welcome to the Financial Fitness Fridays section of the stream. You may notice down there that I have a countdown clock for financial independence. That is real. If I stay at my job, working the same hours, irrespective of whatever comes from Twitch, I will be able to retire in May of 2025. This is something I've worked really hard for, and I didn't get some magic stock gain, anything crazy like that. It was all hard work and savings. So very proud of that. I would say the there's a lot to be learned. So if you guys are looking for financial advice, how I save, stocks, investments, getting financial independence, by all means talk about that. That's one of my wheelhouses. I will probably check the markets here in a moment. We had a pretty red October, but then yesterday and the day before have been pretty green, so that's been good. Far as, oh God, just my face alone is cold and compared to my whole body's warm. As far as everything else is concerned, talk about the channel a little bit. Tomorrow we'll have a push day. Sunday, I believe I will stream. I'm not thinking it's gonna be, I'm not sure what stream I'll do. I'll either do gaming, boxing, or cooking. Not really sure which one yet. Kind of depends on what I'm feeling. You know, I could do a boxing workout and then just grill up a shit ton of chicken thighs and make that my Sunday meal. You know, I might be onto something there. That sounds pretty baller. I think that's just what I might do. Because I can set it up that way. Might have to run the fan if I'm going to do that. So I want the grill to still be somewhere within the camera. I have to think about how I do that. Definitely we need good ventilation in here, but I can provide that with a fan. Might not be a bad idea. Might try grilling in here. I'll probably grill like over on that side of the garage so that way I'm closer to the door, easier to ventilate, but I don't see any reason I couldn't do that. Especially if I like open up the doors, that's probably the way to do it. Lots and lots of airflow, ventilation, stuff like that. Just went to a concert last night, my voice is a little bit messed up. Ooh, who'd you see? Who'd you see? All right, let's talk about otherwise this weekend. What do I got going on? I have a new roommate coming in. I've got a lot of cleaning to do. Bathroom, kitchen, laundry room, shower, sink. I've got to clear out the office, which my other roommate had been using. Roosevelt? I've never heard of them. What kind of genre are they? I got to collect the rent. I got to install a door lock for my other roommate because she's insisting upon that. Whatever, it's not that big a deal. I got to clean up the living room. Got to organize my desk. Swap the house air filter. Get the new roommate a key, which I'll do today. A meal plan. Finish scappernongs. I got a bunch of scappernong grapevines in the back. I've been trimming them, but I need to finish that job. There's a bunch of other less important stuff that if I get to it, it'll be Sunday by the time I do. So that'll be good. That'll keep me very busy today. I'm gonna go ahead and write down a little bit about how I was feeling. So we're gonna go. Felt, is it pause, squats, stronger than expected. Not as much quad hypertrophy as expected, either more time under tension, it should be TUT, there we go, or time under tension, or more weight. I still like the pause squats. I think I'm going to try those for another, let's see, if I'm going to do push tomorrow, that means pull next Monday, leg next Tuesday, push next Wednesday, rest next Thursday, ooh, push next Friday. That might mean I don't get another squat set in here. I gotta figure out when I'm leaving on Saturday, is what that means. I gotta figure out, you know what? I can figure that out right now, actually. I have the ticket right here. So let's see what we got. Let's see. I need to go to my other email account. Flight confirmation, Puerto Rico. Outbound to San Juan. Ooh. Okay, so I fly out of Augusta at 10:14 in the morning. So that means, this is the last leg day I get in here. I gotta decide whether or not on Tuesday I wanna come home and do another, that's tough. That's really tough. Decisions, I'll have to make some sort of a decision on that one. May need a rest day. So I'm gonna have a whole rest week in Puerto Rico. Maybe I don't need that rest day on Thursday. I come in here, do a lift Thursday afternoon. Might do that. Moment of silence for the mustache that was. Yep, the mustache is gone. Welcome on in, Allie Bagel. Good to see you. I'm sure you're already getting into the very cold, very dark part of your year. It actually almost hit freezing here, which in South Carolina is quite unusual. That's not usually a thing we do until like January. So, hey, it's nice now. It's like 55 in here. Feels good. Yeah, saved up. Gonna hit the Puerto Rico trip. It's from one of my mom's big birthdays. So really excited for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We already have snow. Yikes. Hard pass on that. Why no mustache for Movember? Well, even if I wanted to regrow the mustache, and I don't, you're supposed to shave it at the end of October. So I could do that, but I don't want to. So that's the main reason. See what the stock market's doing today. Holy Cadelco. Oh, my DraftKings call is gonna print. Holy moly. It's up 12%. They must have had a really, really good, they absolutely clobbered earnings. That's why. Hopefully, I'm really hoping someone just executes my call, because that gives me $3,000 to play with. It'd be kind of nice. What else we got? Everything else is green. It's looking like another green day. My SoFi stock's going up a little bit. It's back up over 8. That's good. I think it's a buy under 8. I'd hold at or above 8, but they keep beating earnings reports. They're going to get profitable next year. And student loans they've basically written off any student loan profit. So, whatever the Biden administration doesn't forgive is money in my pocket. So that's terrific. Kind of a win-win there. They've diversified enough to where it's not going to kill them if it gets forgiven, but if it doesn't get forgiven, it's just an added bonus. Ooh, all right, Coinbase looking good. Trading volume is going down, so I might try and I might sell a call there, see if I can't get some theta, something like that. Anyway, it's kind of beautiful, but also a pain in the ass. I don't want snow in November. November's still like, all the leaves are changing. November's supposed to be the month of all the leaves are changing. You get days where the highs are in the 50s and the 60s, and this is proof that I'm a southerner right here, because I'm describing November in the South is what I'm doing. You get crisp fall days. Crisp fall days is November to me. Now, if you live in the North, it's October, and if you live in New England or Canada, it's September, but I don't need snow in November. Push snow into December, January, if at all. I can live without snow. It's cold white shit. We had snow on Halloween here in Ohio. Oh, all right. You must be up near the lakes then. If you're getting snow because I actually lived in Dayton a long time ago. If you're getting snow in Ohio in October, usually that means you're up near Lake Erie. So you're probably up around Cleveland Way or something like that. Cleveland's a good town, honestly. It's a very underrated town. The weather is just abysmal. I mean, you want to talk about it's like Detroit, it's like Buffalo. Cleveland's a snow belt city. You're just going to get a shit ton of snow. So if you like snow, Cleveland's great. But if you like warmth and not looking at industrial decay, Cleveland's less great. Lake Erie effect, yeah. Cleveland, Buffalo, Rochester. I think, Duluth. Or one of the, no, not Duluth. It's on the other side. It's like Houghton, that upper peninsula in Michigan on the Superior side gets absolutely blasted with snow every year. Like Oswego, anywhere along like it's the snow belt. Oh, okay, so we're off. Good. There we go. Get a D-rack. Oh, here. Sit. That doesn't sound good. Yeah, we'll just lay it down. It's easier that way. But yeah, no, I'm a southerner, so I'm not used to snow like at all. I'm not even just saying the South. I've lived in Texas, and then before, currently South Carolina, and that's the deep South. We don't get snow more or less at all. Basically, if snow occurs, society shuts down. Just look at what happens if you get just even a flurry or like sleet in Atlanta, the entire city shuts down. That's basically how the deep South operates. Now, that said, I hate the city of Atlanta. I would never ever want to live there. It's full. If you are moving to the deep South, pick somewhere else. Atlanta's full, don't move there. Nashville is also full, don't move there. Pick, I don't know, Birmingham or Montgomery or something. Mississippi or South Carolina. UP is a snowtastic place. So why'd you shave? First reason was I felt like it. I'd had the mustache on for a while. The second reason is a big event coming up in my life. It's an excuse to say the heck with it and take the day off. No, dude, if you've seen drivers from Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi driving in snow, you understand fully well why we just kind of shut everything down. We don't know what we're doing, and we have no business driving in snow. Like, it's so bad that if you live in the deep South, you should need like a special license to drive in snow. I'm not normally a fan of increased government bureaucracy, but holy moly, drivers in the deep South and snow do not mix. We're usually pretty decent drivers. We're usually pretty considerate. We're usually, not overly aggressive, but if even, a quarter inch falls, all bets are off, stay off the roads. Sorry for all the questions. Oh, totally. Lived in South Carolina for a little while, you really don't. That is the most Ohioan sentence. Okay, motherfucker, we're gonna talk about this. 2 weeks ago, I was in Hilton Head for, just for a Sunday drive, because it's like 2 hours away. And I saw dozens of Ohio State, you name it, it was there. Hats, towels, beach chairs, umbrellas, fucking everything, Buckeyes. Loads of Cincinnati stuff, the occasional Michigan Wolverines stuff, Cincinnati Reds stuff, Cincinnati Bengals stuff, Cleveland Indians / Guardians stuff. And a guy who deadass planted a 25-foot tall metal pole deep into the sand and raised the biggest Cleveland Browns flag I have ever seen. You realize the Browns suck, right? Like, are you sure you want to travel all the way down to Hilton Head? That's almost 1,000 miles from Cleveland to Hilton Head, South Carolina, and flex about being a fan of one of the biggest laughingstocks in football? Is that really what you're doing? Cleveland, you have Stipe Miocic right there. Fucking fly a Stipe flag. Be proud of yourselves. Stop flexing about being a Browns fan. That's not impressive. Nobody is impressed by the fact that you're a Browns fan. Like, fucking, at this point, the Carolina coast, with the exception of one island, and I will not, under any circumstances, tell you what this island is. That's for us. You stay away from it. The exception of that one island, the entire Carolina coast is basically just a giant exclave of Ohio at this point. Just, I don't know. I could make the common astronaut joke about Ohio. I'm sure you've heard it enough times, so I'm not going to do it. But, like, y'all really, like, if it wasn't for Ohio, I feel like South Carolina's economy would be 20% smaller. Good to see you, Cobra. I'm doing all right. So, sorry for all the questions. No, totally weird. So why did I shave? Let's talk about this. I shaved because I've got a C You can guess all you want. I'm not going to fucking tell you. You keep your Buckeye ass away from that island. Don't you go there. No. I will find you. I will get a newspaper. I will whack you upside the head with it. Bad. You can have all the other islands. You stay away from that one. Serrano Loco, good to see you. Welcome on in. I'm doing great. Had a really tough workout. I'm doing pause squats. I'm trying to get a little bit more quad hypertrophy. Really trying to build up my muscles for the upcoming bulk. I would love. So for this upcoming bulk, y'all, I'm going to start around Thanksgiving. That's third week of November for the one Canadian in chat. And I'm going to try and bulk to about March 1st. I want to go from weighing about 205 in terms of pounds right now. That's like 95-ish kilos. Maybe a little more, 90, or a little less, 94, 93. And I want to get to about 235, 240 pounds. So that's going to be a pretty big jump. I want to see if I can get my deadlift from 440 to 500. If I can get it to 500, I'm going to call that a success. So that's kind of going to be the goal. No, Phil, look, there's one other thing too, okay. We are very, very happy to have you Midwesterners come down. You guys are much more polite than the people from New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts, so pat yourselves on the back. However, there is also one weekend where you are supposed to stay away from the Carolina coast. This is Masters weekend. I live right outside of Augusta. We give you the city of Augusta and everything around it to enjoy the golf tournament, enjoy the blooming azaleas, enjoy the beauty of the deep south in the spring. Okay? But because we're giving that to you, that's our time to enjoy the beaches. During Masters Week, fuck off from the coast, all right? You get it for the other 51 weeks a year. We're happy to have you. We love having you down. But come Masters Week, go to Augusta and stay the fuck away from the beach. We gotta have it sometime. Good to see you, Christian. Have you bulked up this much before? Curious what my food intake is gonna look like. Probably 4,000-ish calories a day. I'm gonna try and do a cleaner bulk than I did last time. Last time I bulked from 199 to 225. This time I'm gonna bulk from 205 to 235, 240. So we'll go that way. Keep your Buckeye ass away from my island is a pretty fun sentence, and you won the internet my ass today. There's no reason you should go to this island either. This island is mostly, it's very remote. It's not, like, you have to go out of the way to find this island. It's the island where we Carolinians would like to be left alone. You guys get Hilton Head, you guys get all of the Grand Strand, all of Myrtle, you guys can have all the islands around Charleston, Isle of Palms, Sullivan's Island, just this one island, no, okay? Lots and lots of milk. Oh, God, I love milk. I've been missing. I'm going to be going back to at least half a gallon a day, probably close to a full gallon a day. I miss milk so much. God, I love milk. Oh, yes. I've missed that so much. None of this fucking candy-ass skim milk shit. I'm going to drink a Midwestern level. I'm going to drink a Wisconsin level of milk. I'll put it that way. There's a reason that fucking corn-feds in the Midwest are fucking great offensive linemen. I feel like it's almost a must, along with eggs, for sure, along with peanuts. Nuts is another good one. Okay, so, changes. So the trip to Texas was great. That's what I was doing all last week. That's why I was off the air. You do whole milk? I'll probably do 2% this time, because whole milk, last time it was just kind of YOLO, throw as many calories into your body as possible, and I added on a bit more fat than I'd have liked to. So I'm going to try more a dull roar in terms of calorie surplus. 4,000 calories instead of 5,000. Chocolate flavored whole milk is the best milk. Dude, what I love is my protein powder, my peanut protein. This is chocolate protein powder and peanut protein mixed into 2% or whole milk. It's like 500 calories and it tastes like something from Dairy Queen. It's got like 80 grams of protein. It's fantastic. So, where was I? Oh yeah, so upcoming stuff for the channel. I already talked about the Puerto Rico trip, but I have gotten a job offer from the Navy. It is from, right now it's actually going to be, I'm probably going to get a second one. I'm expecting another one from Puget Sound Shipyard in Bremerton, Washington. That is going to be probably in the coming 2 weeks, I would guess. I've been told, you know, expect an offer sometime in November, and that's quoting, that's not my interpretation. The other one, I've already got the offer, and I'm currently in negotiation, is with Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard in Oahu, Hawaii. I mean, look, you guys know I'm kind of a beach himbo. That's next level beach himbo. I wasn't looking. So a while back, like 3 months ago, I went up to, or it was 3 months ago, somewhere around there, somewhere in August, I went up to the city of Boston for a training. And while I was there, it was for nuclear grade in-place HEPA filtration testing. So I'm a nuclear engineer. What I do out at Savannah River site, that's where I work. There's no point in hiding it anymore. If you could figure it out, it wasn't that hard. But out at site, I'm a nuclear engineer. So it was valuable filtration training because, right, you got to know how to confine anything harmful to the public or harmful to the workers. It's about keeping the U.S. safety record for nuclear at the world standard, which it very much is. By the way, nuclear power is 100% safe. The only time it isn't safe is when you do something unbelievably stupid. I'll put it that way. I guess Canada 2025 is gone. Maybe British Columbia. If I take the Bremerton job, it would be Canada, but it just wouldn't be your part of Canada. I spent 11 years there. You'd love Oahu. Well, I figure, first off, from a dating perspective, okay. I don't mean to be mean to my current place. I actually love where I live, and I loved where I previously lived in Texas. I have not had a serious dating pool to interact with since 2017. People wonder why I'm single. There you go. That's why. Rural South Carolina, this part of the country is very low cost of living, but it's also one of the poorer parts of the country. And because it's the deep south, the obesity rate is north of 40%. Now, I'm not super shallow. I'm not one of these people that says looks is everything. But if it wasn't obvious, fitness and health is a big part of my life. And if you are obese, you're not going to be able to keep up with me. As someone who is doing really well in his career, I'm not trying to be immodest, but like, I'm 6'3", I'm in pretty fucking good shape. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm a 10 out of 10, because I'm fucking not, but I'm a catch, at least objective, right, relative to the statistical averages of what your average 28 man is. In most categories, I'm above that. And I'm not trying to be arrogant, not trying to be, you know, a diva, prima donna, whatever, but as a result, I want someone who can keep up with me. And that can be, and really either gender, or any gender, I should say. Sorry, 21st century is fucking weird. Granted, finding non-binary people in this part of the Deep South is not common, to put it mildly. So, in my defense, it's this part of the country is still kind of trapped in the 1980s. But where I'm going with that is, right, the dating pool of people I'd be seriously interested in around here is virtually non-existent. And that's been great in the sense of I've been able to, you know, really focus on myself, focus on lifting hard, focus on, you know, bringing my net worth up, saving money, you know, self-improvement. But like, it'd be kind of fun to date again, and that just isn't a thing I can do here. Like, the nearest decent dating cities are Savannah and Charleston and Columbia, all of which are 90 minutes to 2 hours away. That kind of sucks. If you go to Washington, it'll be a lot different with either one. Exactly. So, right. So Bremerton isn't huge by itself, but you're a 1 hour ferry ride away from Seattle, which has a very, very diverse group of, you know, it's a very good dating pool. I think perhaps even better. Now, Seattle is one of the healthiest, you know, lowest obesity rates. I'm not fixated on that as a point, but it's a general barometer. Seattle is one of the healthiest cities in the country, but one of the few that is even healthier and even more fitness conscious is Honolulu, which is right next to Pearl Harbor and pretty much has the single lowest obesity rate of any major U.S. city. I think the only one that really comes close is Denver, I believe. Denver's pretty good, I know, because, well, if you had those mountains, you'd be hiking them all the damn time too. I look at it like being a self-improving person with someone who doesn't want to self-improve is lame. Well, it's not someone who doesn't want to. Well, sometimes it is, but it's often people who say they want to, but make excuses or aren't willing to put in the work. Because self-improvement isn't easy. It requires that you criticize yourself. It requires to take a good, honest look and say, I can improve. For instance, right, I'm sitting here at 6'3", 205. I've got semi-visible abs. I would call this, I don't know, if I flex, you could kind of call it a six-pack. Is it really what I would call shredded? No. I would call it lean-ish, but I could definitely have cut better. I could have made better decisions. And right, if I lived in a place like Oahu, I'm going to be more likely to eat healthy because the unhealthy food has to be shipped in from the continental US, which means it's going to be a lot more expensive. And you know, I'm not going to be spending time at social events, which is full of, you know, it's down south, it's down south home fried cooking, a lot of trans fats, a lot of, you know, heavy deep fried objects, a lot of processed food. Meanwhile, out there, it's going to be mostly, you know, things like fresh fish. It's going to be things like fresh fruit, vegetables, rice, you know, a lot of what would be called, you know, it's like Honolulu is a blue zone. It's meant for that sort of thing. So what that means is I'm probably going to be a lot healthier out there. And the same, to a lesser extent, applies to Washington. Washington State's got incredible seafood, very good produce, and what produce you can't get in Washington locally, you can get from California, the garden of the world, frankly, but especially in the United States. Your build is perfect, but that's just one perfect person's opinion. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you very much. I try to be critical of myself, but I don't try to beat myself up. It's always about seeing improvement where you want to be, right? What I'd like to be is a little bit more fat, and I'd like to be around 225 pounds. So I'd like a little bit more muscle on my frame. Particularly, my lats have come a long way. I focused on them a lot during the cut, so I'm starting to get that little turtle shell, but right, I feel like compared to the other muscles in my body, they're a little bit of a weak spot. The trouble is, the other thing too is I will have access to an incredible gym out there. Military bases, it's no secret that, right, the military is kind of big on fitness because, well, you have to be to support the mission. And while it's a joint base now, it used to be Pearl Harbor and Hickam. They've kind of merged. It's now a joint base. So you've got two great gyms. The Hickam gym, which is an Air Force gym, which means they get the nicest shit and nobody uses it because the Air Force does not put the same emphasis on physical prowess as the other branches do. In their defense, they don't need to. But you know, I'm gonna have those two as options is pretty nice. Now, unfortunately, you know, if I really wanted to find a great group of people to lift with, I'd have to travel all the way over to Kailua where the Marine base is, and those are the guys you really want to lift with if you want to be fucking big. I'm not a Marine. I grew up in an Air Force family, so yeah, I could be critical about this, but like physical fitness, dude, the Marines fucking eat. The Marines will eat Air Force PT records for breakfast. Like, it's not even close. Hickam Gym is great, so is Blotch Arena. Honestly, so jelly. I basically stuck myself in a corner where I am now. Kaneohe, and that's the gym I went to. Okay, Many Tacos. Can you talk to me on Discord? I'm probably gonna pick your brain about a few things in Oahu, because if you lived there for 11 years, you can probably give me some really useful advice about moving there. It's not a done deal yet. I'm not gonna necessarily go there. The trouble is, as is expecting of a GS job, I would have to take a substantial pay cut to move out there right now. So I'm going to counteroffer, I'm going to negotiate, and then Pearl didn't offer me a relocation bonus, which to take a major pay cut and then on top of that go from arguably the cheapest part of the country to the single most expensive, and then on top of that not get any relocation bonus to do so, that is a very tough pill to swallow. But I've been authorized to renegotiate, so I think I'm going to get. I'm going to make a counteroffer. I'm going to probably send it out today, and we'll see where that goes. OMG, you're live again? Yep, Niam. So the schedule's going to be, normal times today, tomorrow, Sunday, next Thursday, next Friday, but then I'm going to be gone for the Puerto Rico trip. So I know November is going to just kind of be like this. Sorry. But December I should be very much active. You playing OG Fortnite, they're bringing it back? No. What GS level are you looking at? So it's going to be a GS9 target 12 is the offer I got. So, right, I'm an experienced nuclear engineer, but, you know, from an outsider's perspective, I don't know how the Navy works. I don't know how the specific processes of the job works, and there's a lot I have to learn. So the Navy's like, all right, well, if we bring you onto the GS9, bump you up automatically over the first, 1 to 2 years of the job, it makes a little bit more sense because you're not going to be as productive on day 1 as you would be on day 366. However, I currently work for a nuclear site, so I understand a lot of federal nuclear regulatory information. I understand, things like safety class, functional classification, risk hazard analysis. I understand, and then previously before that, I worked at a defense contractor. Now granted, our customer was primarily the US Air Force, but I understand how to work with the Department of Defense. And so I'm gonna try and talk about that, justify that in my counteroffer. We'll see where it goes. And the other thing is, I will mention that I am expecting an offer from Bremerton, and I know Pearl and Bremerton compete. I'm surprised you won't be playing, because I never played Fortnite. Hey, I don't just play OG RuneScape, although that is primarily what I do because it's fucking fun. Catbro actually sent me Halls of Torment, and playing that game has been a lot of fun. You still want to be on for financial independence? So the good news is for the FI train, right? The goal was never retire early. It was the ability to retire early. It's about being financially independent. It's about having the ability to say, fuck you, I'm out, if my employer pisses me off. Now, I will still get that. If I move out to Oahu or to Bremerton, it may take a couple more months, but I'm still gonna hit that FIRE number where I can provide for myself at a basic level and not need to work another day in my life. Now, would I be able to stay living in Oahu? Probably not on that amount of money, unless I got really creative. But that's not what the financial independence goal ever was. It was to be able to support myself. I'd live a very modest life, but that was always the case. I currently live a very modest life. I love my house here, I love my situation, but I spend very little. I'm gonna have to push pretty hard to hit $20,000 of total spending this year. I think I'm at like 15,000 right now. If you don't mind, I'll message you on here. Don't use Discord. Okay, yeah, send me a whisper then. I prefer Discord, but in this instance, I'll try and make an exception. It's just harder to, what I like about Discord is that it's very easy to have people who ask me, hi, how are you doing? What's going on? Stuff like that. Very, very, if you try and keep that on whispers, you're gonna get 15, 20, 25 or more messages asking me how I'm doing. And it's kind of gets overwhelming at that point. Same thing with Discord DMs, right? For basic questions like that, that's why I have my private server, so that way, y'all can ask me those more common questions and I'm not having to repeat myself over and over again to every new person. Trying to cut out video games for more better in-person Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not a D&D person, but D&D can be a lot of fun if it's your jam. So good for you. All right, I will be right back. I have to take a little bathroom break. If you give me just a minute. Zone, good to see you. I already had a great workout, but give me just 1 minute, y'all. I have to piss really bad, so give me just 1 moment. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Had to use the bathroom. Oh, mascot plushie boob. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go get the mascot. Stand by. This won't take so long. There we go. Ferdinand the mascot. This is the mascot's Ferdinand the bull because I'm BullMuscle, so boop. Yeah, you get it, Ferdinand. I'm gonna sit you right here. Anyway. A new BRB screen. Yeah, you can thank Severus for that one. If he shows up, I'll shout him out. As far as what were we talking about? Oh yeah, potential move to Oahu. So I've got the negotiation email sent, written up. I'm gonna send it. I'm expecting that they're not going to give me everything I want. I expect that they're not going to give me nothing. I think they're going to counteroffer with something less than what I'm asking for. That's normally how these things go, and that's very much fair of them to do. The other thing this does is it buys me a little bit of time, and we'll see. You know, ideally, the Puget Sound offer comes in the same time that Pearl gives me something. All things held equal, I would prefer Pearl to Puget, not because I don't love Puget. I've done Puget though. I mean, because my mom lives up in that area, I have a lot of knowledge of that area. What I'd probably long term want to do is, and this could be, you know, I'd love to be able to be, you know, that guy who's reliable, can get loaned out. You know, move to Bremerton, you know, get TDY to Bremerton, get TDY to Guam, get TDY to, even with AUKUS, I mean, right, so Pearl is where the U.S. Naval Fleet is headquarters. So that's going to be where aircraft carriers, submarines, destroyers, you name it, everything comes in and out of Pearl. Like, that's where the Navy, it makes sense for the Navy to be headquartered there, especially given how much, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Pacific right now, particularly with China and Taiwan. I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole, but I understand why the U.S. military is very Pacific, or the U.S. Navy is very Pacific focused right now. With that in mind, because of that, there's something called AUKUS. This is a public deal. It's been talked about, and it's between Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. That's where AUKUS AUKUS comes from. The idea is that we're gonna beef up Australia's nuclear submarine technology. But what's that gonna mean, right? The Australian Navy is going to need people to help train the operators, train the naval officers. That's going to be American and to a lesser extent British know-how going over to Australia to help do that. That could be something that, should I take this job, be it in either Puget or Pearl, I could be a part of. That would be really cool. That'd be a great adventure. But you know, we don't know. So it's a lot up in air. From a financial perspective, ultimately, the best, most financially sound move is for me to stay here right in South Carolina. But at the same time, I've been here for coming up on 3 years now. I moved here in February of 2021, and I'm getting a bit bored. You know, I've really enjoyed, you know, 2021 was my first year in South Carolina, kind of exploring things. 2022 was moving into this house, exploring the pros and cons of being a homeowner. 2023 is where I've really kind of taken it up a level in terms of fitness. But if I stayed here in 2024, it would be a continuation. It'd be basically repeating 2023. And that's fine, but like, this is partially who I am. I grew up in a military family. And so the idea of staying in one place for more than 3 years is kind of foreign to me. It's like, shouldn't I be moving to a new adventure, a new place by this point? So it's very normal for me to feel that way, I think, based on how I was raised. That's the other factor that I think I can justify, you know, asking for a little bit more from either Pearl or Puget. I'm going to, because not only do I have work experience with both DoD and DOE, I've got I've got the military background. I was born in a military family. My father served in the United States Air Force for almost 30 years. I understand what it means to keep things mission ready. Sometimes that means I'm gonna have to, bust ass. Sometimes it may mean working overtime. Sometimes it may mean, really taking a couple long brainstorming nights. But that's what it is to be mission critical. And the other thing is I'd be believing a little bit more in what I do. That's not to say I don't believe in the mission I'm currently performing at my current job, but I have some major issues with the way it's being done. I'm not gonna talk any more about that because I think that you're getting into NDA territory there. But at my current job, I think politics has overridden common sense engineering with how we're going about trying to achieve the mission that the US government is asking us to do. And as an engineer, that's really frustrating because it puts constraints on what we actually think the best design is. I know why, but at the same time, it's not. It's very frustrating to be told, no, you've got to do it this way by people who have no idea what kind of engineering problems that would create. So it is what it is. I can't control that. That's many, many, many layers of management between me and those decision makers. But as an engineer, it's very difficult to see that and be like, come to any other conclusion that I feel like talent's kind of withering a little bit here. I'm a nuclear engineer with, multiple years experience out of college at this point. I'm willing to, I really would love to see if I can put my degree to good use. I don't feel like I've been able to do that with either job I've had so far. First job, step in the door, it's awesome, it's great. But the first, when I was out, the Greenville job, I did not get used well there. I loved a lot of the people I worked with out there. None of them were my managers or bosses out there. Not in any official sense anyway. But I felt as though I was misused at my first job, quite badly, as a matter of fact. And even in my walk the way out, I was talking to one of the guys, and he asked me, "So why are you leaving?" I told him, "You know damn well why I'm leaving. I spent almost 50% of the time that I worked at this company not doing engineering work." He said, "Really? You were loaned out for that long?" I said, "Yes. I got loaned out multiple times too." So yeah, no wonder I'm a little bit frustrated. And he said, "Geez, I can't blame you." He even said, this is a manager at my old company, said, "Yeah, I can't blame you for leaving." So that's a pretty big indictment. I would love to work with some of those people again. Never would work for that company again. I'm not trying to be rude, not trying to be mean, but I will be honest. In my current job, there's politics and regulatory insanity, for lack of a better term, gets in the way of good engineering. And that's at my current job. That's frustrating. So anyway, we've gotten way off topic for, ostensibly a fitness and health related channel. So we'll probably look to raid. We're past the 3-hour mark. It's probably about that time. In the meantime, do we have any questions, any comments, concerns about what the future holds for me, for this channel, financial independence, weightlifting, diet, fitness, any of that? Because I'd be very happy to talk a little bit more. But the main reason I shaved, I guess I went on a bit of a ramble, my apologies, is that I'm ready to start a new chapter in my life, I think. And I feel like the mustache was the South Carolina chapter, and that's kind of my internal signal that it's time. There's still a shot that for whatever reason, neither of these jobs works out, but it's kind of opened my eyes as to the possibilities and potential I have with my current credentials. So I could very much, if neither the Pearl nor the Puget job works out in a way I'm satisfied with, I'll still probably be looking for other lines of work. Will the channel still be around if you go to Oahu? That's an excellent question. The answer is yes. In what form, I'm not sure. Obviously, right, if I'm lifting on a military-based gym, there's no way I'm going to be able to stream those workouts. That's patently obvious. However, right, these power blocks, there's no reason I couldn't take these with me to Oahu. If I do that, now we've got something, right? Now we're talking about, well, if we were to take those power blocks out there, maybe I can still do, it'll be a little bit more restrictive than what I used to do, but I can still do, in an apartment or wherever housing I find, I can still do biceps, I can still do rows, can still do dumbbell bench. These are 90-pound power blocks, so there's a lot you can do with just dumbbells. I think that's probably where we would go. The same would apply in Puget, because it's the same thing. Any naval station is going to have a massive gym like that. And then it'd probably mean I do a fair amount more gaming. So there'd probably be a few more gaming streams, definitely a lot of old school RuneScape. That's kind of the one thing I've been a bit disappointed about. I was really kind of hoping as I started doing this, some of y'all would play along with me and, we get a clan going, we could do like clan wars together, we could do like group parties together, all sorts of fun stuff like that. That hasn't really materialized yet. Group questing would be really fun. We'll see. I could, if you start playing, old school RuneScape and you want to play along with me, like shit, I will, I'll drop you a little something nice to get you started, like, a couple K, some axes, some daggers, stuff like that, some swords, some pickaxes, anything like that. Because at this point, right, for my RuneScape account, like I've got close to like 30 mil right now net worth in that game, just because I'm working on 99 smithing. I'm gonna eventually get there. That's the other thing. I don't want to hit 99 until I've got enough people for a rip-roaring party. Like that's what I'd like to do. So we'll see where that comes from. Otherwise, I think it's about time for us to raid. So we're gonna see who is online. Who we got? I haven't raided Stars and Bars in a minute. I might do that. Who we got? I know Joe Workouts is live, but she's probably looking about to raid someone. So, Limitless is live. Well, let's raid Limitless because she was in here earlier. Definitely. Gaming by myself has just gotten ugh. Well, if you want to game, dude, if you want to play old school RuneScape with me, bro, 100%. Freaking talk to me on Discord, and we'll get that shit set up. That'll be a lot of fun. Usually I do those on Thursdays, though this Thursday I may end up bumping that to lift. We'll see. Anywho, let's go ahead and raid message is going to be Bull Rush. We're going to raid Limitless Fitness because she's awesome and she came in here earlier. What goes around comes around. Usually if you hang out in my chat while I'm lifting, I'll raid you. That's just sort of how these things go. So let's do raid Limitless Fitness. She's pretty great, y'all. Y'all are gonna like her. So that's gonna be it for me today. I will be live with push day, so it's gonna be bench. We're gonna work out these pecs tomorrow. In the meantime, y'all, make good decisions. Those good decisions form your habits. Those habits form your values. Those values form an ethos. It can be the guide star through the rough waters of life. Much love, y'all. Come in for the hug. Big bull hug. See you tomorrow. And raid ski. All right, YouTube. As always, it's been good. Enjoy this episode. If you watch it, you'll know where we're going. So, cheers. Take it easy. I will see you tomorrow.